Sigley. Nice. Funa, why did you apply to be a Sigley intern?
So during the freshman year, I was looking for an opportunity for volunteer work during the upcoming summer. And I asked my academic advisor actually introduced me to the CNHP, and Dave actually gave me an opportunity to work in the Lifer Ranch for BioBlitz. That's how I get to know the CNHP. And then during that BioBlitz, I actually had a chance to work with the Sigley interns at that time. And I think it's really cool to gain some experience with the CNHP, and that's how I applied Sigley intern 2 years later.
I worked at the CNHP since I was a sophomore because I was a work study doing data entry. So I basically signed up to become a Sigley intern because I was doing a lot of data entry and more of the office work side, but I was using data that was being collected by the Sigleys. So when I was going into my senior year, I wanted to have more fieldwork experience, and I already knew the organization really well. And I was looking forward to getting some more outdoor and field experience, so I applied.
So I was working with CNHP as part of my capstone course at CSU, and I learned about their internship program. I really enjoyed working with them in the class project, and the description of the internship sounded exactly like how I wanted to spend my summer, which was just being outside, learning field skills, camping, and just contributing to meaningful conservation work.
Funa, what was it like to be a Sigley intern?
It was a great experience. It was the best summer I ever had. Being the Sigley intern is constant learning and applying the knowledge that you learned in the class. You can learn from great mentors and the fellow interns, and also the people who support the CNHP to conserve the beauty of Colorado. And also while you're in the field, you can actually apply your skills, such as get an azimuth for using compass, how to ID the small mammals you caught, or how to ID the skull that you found while you're in the BioBlitz. So it is a great experience.
It was awesome. I think the best part about being a Sigley intern was getting to know all the different students that I got to work with, since we had people from all over Warner College who normally I wouldn't have in classes. And it was really great. Like, one of my favorite memories was working at the Aspen Educational Center and doing the BioBlitz out there, because it was like me, Funa, and Emma, so us trio, we all went out and did small mammal traps while the rest of the team was doing bird surveys. And we were able to catch a jumping mouse, and just getting that experience, like, one, work with students and peers that you normally don't get to work with, while also getting mentors who really help you throughout that entire summer, but also past that summer, was probably one of the best things to be a Sigley intern.
It was a really fun summer. Almost every week we traveled to a different part of Colorado working on a different project. And most of the time you were camping and working with multiple other interns or staff. So it was just really fun to get to travel and camp and just work with a lot of really great people like Renee talked about. And that was definitely one of the best parts about the internship, just working. Everyone is just so nice and genuine and passionate about what they do, and made a lot of really good friends through this internship.
I think that's another thing that it was to be a Sigley intern, was like learning how to communicate with the public, because like we got to present to all those little kids and their parents. So like trying to kind of switch up your language from going from, you know, scientific, working with the biologist, to then kind of working down with, like, I think those kids were like 5 or 6 years old, and trying to teach them about like why nature is important and like how they can kind of identify with the world around them was also really, really cool.
Renee, how have you benefited from your internship?
Well, I think the most important thing was just gaining such a wide range of natural resource skills out in the field. So having the experience of, like, you know, working on reptile surveys, working on bird surveys, doing vegetation plots, transect lines, reading a compass, orienteering, back road driving, like all those skills within the span of a month really helped me build my resume. So when I was graduating, I was able to find a job a seasonal position through Neon, and they were really, really impressed by my skill set that I gained through this organization and through this internship. And then another thing was it was the very first time that I was introduced to birding. Before I was a Seekley intern, I really was not a birder. I didn't really like ornithology, but I was part of the Button Rock Preserve birding surveys with Emma and another intern named Griselda. And we went out with Andrea, and Andrea took us out and taught us birding. And I was just like overwhelmed by how much I still didn't know about the species around me. So then when I became a senior, I took an ornithology class as an elective, which actually helped me get the job I work at now. I work for a survey consulting firm for environmental sciences, and I go out and do wildlife surveys for raptors out in Wyoming. And I've become a bird person.
The other biggest benefit is that actually I got to keep working with the CNHP after graduation, and I got this field technician position. And that allows me to gain more skills, including ArcGIS, QGIS, and I luckily exposed to the cutting edge studies like drone use for studying the Penstemon debelis, which is awesome experience. And this whole experience with the CNHP actually helped me widen the perspectives on ecology overall.
I would say to anyone thinking of applying to the Seekley internship to do it, it was definitely one of the best experiences I've had in my college career. And I don't really know where I'd be without it. I gained so many skills and so many friendships. It's hard to think of what my college career and what my post-grad career would look like if I wasn't a Seekley intern.